Former NBA star Howard stirs Chinese social media as he calls Taiwan a country. Janet Yellen urges G7 members to work together against China's economic coercion. Witness at congressional hearing, U.S. must sanction Hong Kong's officials for undermining freedom. Shenzhen witnessed negative population growth for the first time since its founding in 1979. Former National Basketball Association NBA star Dwight Howard has stirred a public outcry on Chinese social media as he calls Taiwan a country. Reuters reported that the U.S. basketball star appears in a promotional video with the Taiwanese vice president supporting a campaign for a small group of foreign tourists to spend the night at Taiwan's presidential palace. Howard said in the video, "Hello, everyone. I'm Dwight Howard, and since I have come to Taiwan, I have gained a whole lot of new appreciation of this country."
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm Dwight Howard, and since I came to Taiwan, I've gained a whole new appreciation of this country. This place makes me feel so much love, and I experience so much hospitality with friendly and great living environment with such a great diverse culture.
Taiwan is the most sensitive issue for the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and often causes strong reactions from Beijing. The CCP claims Taiwan as its territory, despite never having controlled it. Beijing considers Taiwan a breakaway province that often threatens to reunite the self-ruled island with the mainland by force if necessary. After Howard's video was released, it quickly became viral on China's Weibo social media platform. The hashtag #HowardTaiwanIndependence has garnered about 400 million views by Friday. Howard last year joined the Taiwanese basketball team Taoyuan Leopards. He is the most well-known player to ever play in Taiwan's T1 League. During his career in the NBA, Howard has played for major teams, including Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. He also played for the U.S. national basketball team and won the Olympic gold medal with the team in the 2008 Olympics. The NBA games are top-rated in China, and several such incidents have triggered controversy. Another former NBA player, Enes Kanter Freedom, who played for the Boston Celtics, is best known for his strong, outspoken voice against the CCP. Kanter Freedom often supports the Free Tibet movement on his Twitter. In October 2021, Kanter Freedom criticized Chinese leader Xi Jinping as a brutal dictator for CCP's repressive policies in Tibet. The CCP stopped streaming all Boston Celtics games in China in retaliation. In 2019, Chinese television stopped broadcasting Houston Rockets games when general manager Daryl Morey tweeted his support for pro-democracy demonstrations in Hong Kong. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has appealed for the Group of Seven, G7, to team up against Beijing's economic pressure on countries. At a press conference on May 11th, the Treasury Secretary said Washington would introduce limits on outbound investments, but that would narrow around technologies and pose risks to national security. She relayed that the best outcome would be for the involvement of the G7 members, which included Japan, Germany, Britain, France, Italy, Canada, and the European Union, besides the U.S.
Obviously, it would be most effective if there's coordinated action by a group of like-minded countries and agreement that this is a useful approach.
Yellen reminded the two recent victims of Beijing's economic coercion was Australia and Lithuania, which she said could concern everybody. China has also ramped up pressures on Western firms and even a Japanese executive.
I would say that many G7 members share a common concern with this kind of activity and are looking to see what we could jointly do to try to counter.
According to the Financial Times, the U.S. has not finished settling limits on investments yet, and it will not announce it until a summit of G7 leaders in Hiroshima next week. The G7, on the other hand, are expecting to issue their first separate statement on economic security. The publication said the countries will promise to collectively deter, respond to, and counter economic coercion. A senior EU official contributing to the communique told the outlet that they were optimistic about settling on standard wording for evaluating outbound investments. However, the person said it would not be a joint mechanism with the U.S.
During a congressional hearing, witnesses said that the U.S. must impose sanctions on Hong Kong judges and prosecutors and ban its chief from attending an important event in the U.S. as human rights conditions in the city are deteriorating. The Congressional Executive Commission on China hosted the hearing One City, Two Legal Systems: Political Prisoners and the Erosion of Rule of Law in Hong Kong on Thursday, May 11th. The commission advises the U.S. government on issues such as human rights and the rule of law in China. One witness also called on the U.S. to shut down 3 Hong Kong economic and trade offices in the U.S., which helped to spy on Hong Kongers. One witness at the hearing was Sebastian Lai, son of political prisoner Jimmy Lai. Sebastian Lai called on the U.S. to help free his father. He said, "For as long as my father remains in prison, Hong Kong is not a safe place to do business." Jimmy Lai is the founder of the now-defunct pro-democracy Apple Daily newspaper. Last year, Jimmy Lai was sentenced to almost 6 years for fraud. He also faces a sedition charge under national security charges. Sebastian also criticized the UK for not taking a stronger position on the case, saying Britain had not called for his father's release and failed to condemn the ongoing crackdown on Hong Kong's dissidents. The panel's leader, Representative Chris Smith, promised to send a letter to British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to help the elder Lai. Smith also said he supported Nobel Peace Prize nominations for Lai and 5 Hong Kong activists. The South China Morning Post, citing the Washington-based Hong Kong Democracy Council, reported that there were over 1,400 political prisoners in Hong Kong. A witness and author of the council's report said that about 1,300 people had been jailed on protest-related charges, 72 on national security law indictment, and 44 on sedition charges. In late March, the State Department criticized Hong Kong leadership for their ongoing crackdown on civil society, media, and opposing voices. Secretary of State Antony Blinken condemned the Chinese regime for eroding the rule of law and undermining the judicial independence of Hong Kong, as the State Department published a new report for the island's last year status. In the statement, Blinken said that the People's Republic of China continues to erode Hong Kong's judicial independence and the rule of law. This past year, PRC, or People's Republic of China, and Hong Kong authorities have further criminalized dissent, undermining the human rights and fundamental freedoms of people in Hong Kong, and dismantling the city's promised autonomy.
The Shenzhen Municipal Bureau of Statistics, Guangdong Province, recently released a statistical bulletin on May 8th stating the city's permanent population at the end of 2022 was about 17.66 million, a decrease of 19,800 people compared to 2021. It's the first time Shenzhen has had a negative population growth since its founding in 1979. According to China's National Business Daily, Chinese demographer Hu Yafu analyzed 2 main reasons for the decline in Shenzhen's population. First is due to the impact of the COVID pandemic, whereby the labor demand in some industries decreased in 2022, resulting in some migrant workers returning to their hometowns. The second is due to the Chinese Communist Party, CCP's tightening of settlement policies starting in 2021. From the perspective of Guangdong Province, its residents' population decreased by 272,000 people in 2022, and the floating population outside the province decreased by 692,000, according to the paper. However, this trend is not only happening in Guangdong. According to the 2022 Cities Business Charm Rankings list, in the 2022 New First-Tier Cities list, 7 of the top 10 cities' permanent population is growing. Still, the growth rate has decreased significantly compared to the previous years. Some scholars pointed out that as the population of various provinces enters negative growth, it has become a common trend that future population reproduction will enter a shrinking mode in all regions of China.